Hi guys, welcome to Andyland. Today is my sister's graduation party. She graduated from high school a couple days ago. So here's how I got the look. I will be doing a voiceover only because there's a lot going on in my house. You'll actually see in the video people coming in and out. Just ignore them. It's real life. This was really a rushed job too, so I just kind of did like a whole natural beat. I was gonna do a get ready with me, but I'm actually running out of time because the party started about 10 minutes ago and I'm still here. So I'm about to head downstairs, but you guys enjoy the tutorial. Like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what you think. Alright, so the first thing we're doing is going in with primers. The first primer I'm using is my Fenty Beauty True Matte Primer. I rub that all over. I do use multiple primers because I have oily skin, and the multiple primers tend to help me combat that and make my makeup last all day. The next primer I'm using is the Huda Beauty Matte Perfection Primer. This primer kind of feels like a serum, which is kind of the reason why I like it. It doesn't feel drying on the skin, so I rub that in all over. The next primer I'm going to use is my Milk Hydrogrip Primer. This primer keeps my makeup from moving, so I use that mainly on the lower half of my face and take whatever excess to the rest of my face, especially around my nose and my mouth. I want to make sure that places when I'm talking, on my cheeks, my makeup is staying in place. Then I'm going to spray my face with the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. Love this setting spray. Like, if there's one makeup staple that I have to have now, is this setting spray. It makes my face look so radiant but keeps my makeup in place. Amazing. Next, I'm going to set around my T-zone using the Laura Mercier medium deep powder. Now, I have really oily skin, but I'm also going to be in the sun today, and I wanted to make sure my makeup was given the best chance to last as it could. This is not something I do every day, but if there is a need for my makeup to last and I know I'm going to be sweating, I have oily skin, I just want to make sure that I'm not setting myself up for failure. So I will set my T-zone with some translucent powder. Alright, so next I'm going in with my eyebrows. My eyebrows are absolutely atrocious right now. I get my eyebrows from my mother, so where you see it trickles off right there, that's not from me shaping them. That's just how my eyebrows look. I know, I was not blessed. I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Pomade in the shade Chocolate, and I'm just trying to carve them out and fill them out as best I can. I do like more sculpted brows when I know I'm taking pictures, so I just want to make sure that I start off with the bottom, kind of get the shape I want, brush it out to kind of diffuse any harsh lines, blend it in a little bit. Don't worry too much if your brows aren't perfect. You can always clean them up with concealer later. You also want your brows to be sisters, not twins. So I like it. Now I'm going in with the second brow. Now I'm using my concealer, Fenty Beauty concealer in the shade 420 to kind of clean up where I made mistakes. I usually start at the bottom of my brow and kind of carve out my arch and then pat it down. If I'm wearing eyeshadow, I usually bring it all the way down to my eyelid. I'm not doing a real eyeshadow look today, so I'm trying to just use enough to clean up my brows and pat it so I can blend it out later. Today, I decided to also carve up the top of my brow, which you will see I kind of realized was a mistake because I have edges on, and I try not to put a lot of product on my forehead in general. So like here, right there is where I realized probably shouldn't have done that. It's a lot harder to blend makeup when you have edges or lace or things like that, but I finessed it and made it work. I'm just buffing out the concealer to try and blend that in as best as possible to give me less work to do when I put my foundation on. Now I'm going in with my foundations. I'm using the shade 420 in the Fenty Beauty Soft Matte, and I'm using the NARS Longwear Radiant Foundation in the shade Macao. My skin has been tanning super weird this year. Usually I tan super golden, which obviously look at my face right now. Now I am tanning more on the red side, and I don't really have foundations in my shade anyway. So I've been mixing foundations to finesse that. It all comes together in the end, but I kind of usually prepare for my summer shades ahead of time, and I did not prepare to be a whole different color than I normally am. So just blend that in. I'm using my Real Techniques foundation brush and then going in after with my Sonia Kashuk sponge to diffuse any harsh lines and absorb any excess product. Now I'm going in with the shade 430 in the Fenty Soft Matte Foundation. Focusing mainly on the lower half of my face and then blending upwards. I'd rather always go darker than lighter in foundation. I just kind of realized I needed a little bit more of a red tint, although this kind of gave off super oompa loompa orange. But like I said, don't worry, you can always finesse things with makeup, which is why I love makeup. You can make a mistake and there's usually a way to fix it without you having to start all over. So again, blending that in to save my life, going back in with the sponge, soaking up everything, blending everything together, and you can totally see that it does not match, but I reiterate, it is okay. And now you see me trying to fix my edges and blend in there. It's I was so mad at myself for this, but getting a foundation in your edge control is just not a thing, so I always try to do my edges first. It's just, I knew I shouldn't have put makeup on my forehead. I just knew I shouldn't have. Now I'm going to spray my face with the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray and press that in with my foundation brush. Just an extra precaution because of my oily skin that I usually take. I always spray my face after I put my foundation on. Oh my god, did you hear my stomach? Oh, I'm so hungry. Did you guys eat today? I didn't. Alright, so now I'm going in with my Fenty Beauty Concealer in the shade 420. As you can see, it kind of blends in with my foundation. This is for extra coverage. I'd rather go in with concealer than pile on 4, 5, 10 layers of foundation. I don't let this sit. This is my first concealer. I do go in with multiples. I press this first layer of concealer in usually with my brush, just to help blend it in with the foundation. It's already on the brush. It kind of helps blend everything in. I usually start off with my chin, around my mouth, and then the outer layers of my concealer under my eyes, bringing that over my eyes, towards the end. So I love this concealer. If I'm doing like a no makeup look day, I just stop right here, set and keep going. But my hair is back and I feel like I needed to chisel my face out a little bit more. When my hair is up, all up, or straight back like this where there's nothing in my face, I feel like contouring, highlighting my cheekbones is kind of the way to go to keep it simple but still, I'm that girl. So I'm just pressing that in, blending, and then I will again go in with my sponge and blend everything out. I use both throughout. I used to only use sponges, and I have now formed a little relationship with brushes. I like the finish that it gives me, but I do feel like the sponge is necessary. So now I'm going in with my Too Faced Born This Way concealer in the shade Cookie. I go super light now because of the weird thing my skin is doing. I feel like it kind of helps bring my face down from this orangey tone. Now I'm using my Juvia's Place foundation stick in the shade Tunisia, and I'm using this to contour. So I contour on my cheekbones, not underneath, not above, directly on my jawline and then down the bridge of my nose, and then I just pat 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 to buff that out. Again, today I really wanted a chiseled face, so I'm going to be going in with another shade of the foundation stick to kind of make my cheekbones pop. You'll see that in a second, but literally just patting back and forth with a buffing brush. to kind of just give myself, I have 50 chins, so I need to give myself a jawline. I also have really big baby cheeks. I've had them ever since I was a child, to be honest, since I was born. So pat back and forth, dragging it a little bit, not too much because I don't want to move or disturb my foundation. Um, Again, don't worry if it ends up being a little too muddy because you're still letting that concealer under your eyes dry down a little bit, and then you can always go underneath and carve out your cheekbones if you want to. I realized wasn't blending in as good as I wanted, as fast as I wanted because I was already late. So I'm using the foundation brush with no extra product and just buffing that in. Now I'm going to be taking my foundation stick in the shade Katsina, and it's a little warmer, and you'll see like it kind of the depth that it gives me when you use two. I usually use two when I'm doing like a super glam or I really want to carve out my face. um, Using one doesn't always get you the desired look, but you see, look at that. Look at that. Ugh, I love me. All right, so blending that out with the sponge, and then now I'm taking my elf brush and I'm going to um, blend out the contour on my nose. I have actually been really obsessed with a chiseled nose, mainly because of there's this Instagram filter that I really like, and it has my nose super chiseled, and I'm obsessed with it. So I now do it in my makeup. I didn't used to contour my nose as severely, but I'm obsessed with it now. But don't get me wrong, I'm still a proud African black woman with a big nose, you know. Shout out to Beyonce. And then I'm going to go in with my Sonia Kashuk sponge and blend out the concealer under my eyes. It should be nice and tacky now, so I'm not making too big of a mess. I am taking it onto my eyelid, just as the base for, I'm not doing shadow, but I will be putting bronzer up there. You'll see that in a second. And I like to make sure that, you know, everything's nice and even. Using the bottom of my sponge to make sure that I'm blending out the edges where the concealer meets my contour, and then also taking it up onto the sides of my nose a little bit to help chisel the contour that I did put on my nose. It's all about blending. If you can blend, your face will always end up looking flawless. Just always. Whatever is excess from under my eyes, I'm taking down the bridge of my nose in between the contour. I don't always put concealer on my nose. I just kind of use the excess and then blend it out. And it always seems to work for me. Like, look at that. Oh, my eye is just... Like, there's something about the way when you put your concealer on that just... amazing. Now I'm about to set with powder. I'm going in with my Huda Beauty Easy Bake Powder in the shade Blondie. Taking that also onto my eyelid, pressing that in. Hi, Melanie! Pressing that in, and I'm not baking right now. I just really want to make sure that that powder is set. My under eye is set. I don't want any creasing. Taking that into the sides of my nose. I use this powder also down the bridge of my nose, so mainly on the top half of my face. I go really light. I love the finish of this powder. It does have a scent. It doesn't really bother me, but I know it does bother some of my clients, so I won't use it. Now I'm going in on the lower half of my face with the Laura Mercier Medium Deep Translucent Powder. And then I'm just blending that in kind of underneath my contour. Now I'm using my Fenty Beauty Foundation Powder in the shade 420. With a fluffy foundation brush. Sorry about that burst of light. My sister knocked something over. And blending all those powders and things together. Now I'm going in with my Kylie Cosmetics bronzer in the shade Tawny Mami. And I'm going over where I contoured. I actually really like this bronzer. I think I got hooked on it from Miss Tasha Washa. I love her makeup videos. If you don't know her, go follow her. She's awesome. I follow her. I usually wouldn't use this brush to put bronzer on my nose, but I was also in a rush and did not feel like looking for brushes. You can never find brushes when you're in a rush. It just, I don't know what that is. If anybody has any suggestions or tips, I feel like I lost like 3 brushes as I was doing my makeup today. Now I'm going in with that same bronzer and just putting it all over my eyelid with a fluffy brush. As I said, I'm not doing a real eyeshadow look, but this is just to give some difference in color from my face and my eyelids. Melanie wants to say hi, y'all. She's a nut. So yeah, I'm doing that, and that is pretty much all the eyeshadow that I'm doing today. Nothing else. Real simple, real everyday. Now I'm chiseling out my nose with my Wet n Wild PhotoFocus setting powder in the shade Banana. So I'm just taking it up on the sides of my nose, down the bridge of my nose, and around my nose to bake. And a little bit under my eye, but I usually pat that out later. And then on my laugh lines, I kind of press that in again, just an extra layer to make sure that I'm not creasing. I love powder. If you haven't noticed, my friends always make fun of me, but powder keeps my face sitting. I cannot function without powder. Next, I'm going with blush. I'm using my Anastasia blush trio in Cocktail Party, and I'm using the shades Vegas and Scorching. You put that on top of my contour and at the tip of my nose. And now I am patting in the powder that I was baking with. And then with the excess, I'm brushing that away with my powder brush, the one I use for my powder foundation. Just patting that in, brushing it away, patting it in, brushing it away. And then taking my eyeshadow brush and blending in where the powder met my eyelid. And yeah, I put on my lashes off camera and my liner. Got some glue on me. I'm gonna let that dry and come back to it later. And I'm gonna start on my lips. So I'm outlining my lips with my Kkw lip liner in the shade Nude 3. Awesome Brown, another suggestion I got from Tasha Washa or Natasha S. She has 2 channels now. So I'm just going to outline my lips. I have pretty defined lips, a pretty defined cupid's bow, nice full bottom lip. And I'm just going for something simple and glossy today. So brown liner and gloss is always a go. Next, I'm going in with my Kkw Lip Gloss. This is a shade Flammable. I think it was from one of her collections. It was on sale at Ulta for like $3 and I picked it up. And now I need to find it because it's almost done and I absolutely love that lip gloss. And then I'm taking a clear gloss that I got from the hair store. I think it's a Kiss gloss. Something simple, makes my lips look nice and juicy. Love this combination. It's one of my faves. Look at me, admiring myself. Vanity at its finest. Alright, I'm going in with my NYX liner in black and I'm putting that in my waterline, and I think I got myself, because poke myself in the eye, but it's okay, not the end of the world. Going with those on both eyes. And then I'm going to be using my Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. I got this from my brother's girlfriend at Christmas. Absolutely obsessed with it. Love it. Makes my bottom lashes stick out like no other. And I have extremely curly lashes, and this seems to be able to tame them. Yep. And now I'm taking just a spoolie, now that that glue's dried, and just taking it off. 1, 2, 3, easy. Now I'm going to spray my face again with the Urban Decay setting spray and pat it in with my foundation brush. Pat, 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 pat. Look at that face, guys. And now I'm going in with my Fenty Beauty highlighter duo in Gingerbinge and Moscow Mule. And I'm only using highlighter on my nose, so I like to make a little exclamation point. So kind of gives me that button nose effect. And then I'm going to diffuse that with the foundation brush that I've been using the whole video. Just patting it down to help diffuse it and make it not so harsh. And then I'm going to spray one final time with my Charlotte Tilbury spray. The best spray ever. Like, look how radiant my face is. And fan that out. Just gorgeous. Alright guys, so this is the final look. I'm feeling it. I've really been loving the whole natural beat, especially with the setting spray, the Charlotte Tilbury. Like, I don't know, it just really makes my skin look like skin with all this makeup on. I actually didn't do too much today, but yeah. So let me know what you think of this look down below. I'm about to go to this party and turn up. So head over to IG if you want like the whole fit, because it's actually kind of fire, you know what I'm saying? Her colors are actually blue and white too for her party theme, so the old mellow, you know what I'm saying, it was fitting with the hoops, the hair. It's just the whole vibe. So follow me on Instagram, like, comment, and subscribe down below, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.